My name is Hannah. I am founder of TOO.BADASS branding agency, and that's the second video that I'm recording outside because it went well, kind of. And we're going to talk about all the fuck ups that we had lately in our branding agency. And I'm going to talk from my memory, just a conversational video, but I might not remember all the fuck ups because we have so many of them. So the first one is not having proper KPI for the team, and that's where we had a lot of problems. But we right now have KPI and we have a agenda of continuous planning, so we will be reviewing and checking KPIs every month on a weekly call that we have, and we will agree on them with the team and we'll pursue them. So why did we suffer from that? There are KPIs to different stages of work in a branding agency, and there are KPIs to different departments. So the department I'm talking about right now is brand design, the designers themselves with whom you are working, and you'll be assigned the designer, obviously. So the stages that they have with the client, they have commonly discovery phase, then they have design phase, and we have some communication or delivery for development or organization, and putting together all the files or level of design work or communication on calls or updates or planning of the project, because they do a little bit of planning based on their time, ability, and working hours on everything, apart from me as a manager, and yeah, I'm the founder but I do manage the project. So there are a lot of KPIs to it, and not having them would get you in a lot of trouble, because when you would say to people, hey, that's not the work on the level that we need, you don't have any proof to refer to, because you did not agree on any level. There is no specific level to it. You say that's a premium level and somebody says that's not a premium level. It's how do you resolve that? There is no proof to you as a client or as a founder. Yeah, that's my fuck up. So yeah, we wouldn't have our KPI. Then the next thing is not talking through the problems that we have in the agency right away as we have them. And right now we have like a file with all the problems from all the people in the team in different stages and in different departments, and we are finding solutions to them, whether they are instant or whether they are continuous. And yes, we are reviewing that on a monthly basis, on a weekly calls. That's how we are kind of dealing with the problems, but you can never solve all the problems at once. Now but it's important to have that file and to have that sense of progress. And the difference between not having that file or not dealing with the problems or not talking through them, it's like in a relationship. So if you just not voice it out as a designer in a team or any member of the team, and if you just keep suffering from it and silence it out, and at some point when you have problematic relations with client, you are not getting the results that you need from the project, because shit really happens, and a person is defined, and a brand I always love to compare brand to a person, is defined by not the situation but by the way he or she is dealing with it. So when you have problematic situations, it happens, but it's when you are responding to the situation, it defines who you are as a player or B player. And when you're addressing the issue, it's a power position, because you are addressing the problem. You're not just weak standing out there and saying that you don't have any responsibilities, and you are solving the problem, and you are solving the problem for everybody else, for the team. And as your business is growing, then these problems would be eliminated, and it's good, isn't it? Now the third fuck up that we had is working without contracts. And that's I'm laughing at that because that's super silly one. It's pretty obvious that everybody should have contracts, but if in case you do not have a contract, we had a client months ago, and that was a client from Los Angeles, and he was an owner of an SEO agency. We used to work for a year back then, and the project that we had lasted 4 months. We worked on the project, but then we were not paid. I want to voice it out. to somebody, at least here. So it's not okay when people are working on your project and client is getting updates from the team, and at the end he says, you know what, he like, it's not the problem of our work, because the client did not see the work that we did at all. He didn't check the messages or he didn't enter the files. He just said, you know what, I think that I do not need this design anymore. And it's not working like that, because if you go to a restaurant and you have a meal prepared for you, you ordered that, you get the meal on your table, you cannot say that I do not want this meal anymore and I won't be paying for it. Maybe this restaurant example is a stupid one, maybe we can have a better example, but the fact that the effort and custom services were spent on your assign for specifically your project, it's pretty rude not to pay for it and say that you had nothing to do with it, because we were making a project for some client. And I don't know, you can be guessing which project from portfolio is that. But it turned out well, so we covered that inside of a team financially, and then we posted this still to portfolio, and it gave us more freedom, because in these relations we had a problem communicating as a creative partner, so we were more like a designer and we had less responsibility. Now when we did not have a client anymore, we took all the responsibility and we made really good project for portfolio from which we are benefiting. So it's all a lesson in life, and it's all it's taking us to the best. Now, another fuck up, let me think about it, maybe you have too little. Yes, so I know let's fuck up with the sales when we are scaring off our clients too early. When I'll say you price in a message, just, hey, that's gonna be $5,000, people are scared off because they do not understand the difference between AI generated website for, I don't know, $50 and from custom brand design. Now the difference is that you have one designer who works with you for like 3 weeks, and you get an enormous amount of time with an expert in a niche who is creating aligned visuals across platforms. It's the visuals are aligned in between themselves, and they are aligned with the strategy. That's the best you can get in a niche, definitely compared to the templates that you can buy for, I don't know, $50. You can buy the template, but you should adjust the template to your needs, and it should meet the strategy, your requirements, and it should work. If it's just beautiful, this is just the cover. And I guess I said that millions of times across the branding agency way. The next fuck up that we have is not having organized social media. I believe we do social media constantly, but we are still lost, and that's personally me who is lost in between formats. We should have a format that is easy to produce and that is reusable and that's really productive and with which audience is connected. So right now the logic that we have is we are trying to focus on the YouTube as a first platform to create more content there, to have assets, because YouTube is not working like an archive. It would save our videos and it would show to you later. But the problem we have is with the production. So not all the videos are of a high level production. Some of them are edited, some of them are good, but not most of them. There are conversational videos, daily videos that produce some subscribers first and connections, and I believe that's true. Like real life content, which is not perfect, is the future, but we're having problems connecting with the audience with you here. And it's a question of consistency, and it's a question of us getting better at this content production, so it's fine, but I consider this to be my fuck up. And the next part would be connect of this one whole big fuck up, connecting these long format videos with the short format videos on Instagram and TikTok, and having it all going in some direction. We are, as a branding agency, we're so good at doing strategies for others, doing websites for others, but when it comes to ourselves, we are struggling with that really, because there is so many options for us to cover, and we just have to stick with one and not change it. That's all is needed from us, but we are struggling with that. So we had storytelling format of this reels on Instagram, and it worked really well because audience connected with that. But in order to produce a reel like that, you need 4 hours or sometimes 5 hours of recording material and editing and doing all this stuff. But then it's not very serious, this storytelling format, and it's hard to produce, it's not sustainable enough. Then we create the best, the major part that we have the content is business content, when I'm just sitting there and talking to the camera, and it's often not edited with the sound effects video. It's more boring video, but it's business oriented, so I believe that clients who are business owners, they would appreciate this type of content. Now the other part that we can post is the carousels and storytells in the pictures. That's I think that's sustainable, and we can do this. And there are more formats. We have a format still branding idea for, where we are coming up with a name, with the logo, and with the strategy, with the uniqueness of some branded product, and we are just sharing that in the social media. But it requires also a lot of creativity, and we can come up with one video or something a week, which is not that much. Now that's the fuck up, and I believe we're not connected enough with the audience. I should be more live there, or the team, or more live footage with us working together, or real life problems, because we're not sharing much of that, and we have not yet found, the balance in between what we can share and what we cannot share. Sometimes I feel like I'm telling too much on the social media when I'm speaking about our projects, but here we go. What's our next fuck up, or the fuck up that we have? I think the expectation of quick results. I've been working on this agency for almost a year now, which sounds a lot, but I mean, from 11 months from coming up with the idea and thinking it over and just writing first some letters on the paper, to then half of a year from creating the agency. And we are not yet in a place where we want to be. I want to work with the projects that are leaders in their niches, and I believe we have a couple of projects like that, but they would be released later on in 3 months, some of them in 2 months, and we do not have them yet in our portfolio, or we don't have yet results from them. We are just in this creation mode right now, which is inspiring anyway. So we're not in the place where we want to be, but we're going there, and we're still pretty motivated and pretty consistent with everything, so it will go well. And I hope that you do not have that many fuck ups in your business, and if you have business that has potential to become a leader in its niche, it has uniqueness to it, and passionate person behind creating that brand, text us, because we value interesting projects more than just costly projects. When we have the creative integrity, that's what we value the most, and that's where we'll be included the most as a creative partner. Have a nice day, and I'll talk to you in the next video.